Imagine a child who would one day become the striker every defender fears. A boy who wasn't even born in Norway, but in the English city of Leeds, far from the country he would one day represent. His father was a professional footballer whose career was cut short by injuries, while his mother was a national track and field champion. At that moment, no one could have imagined that this little boy would one day carry the hopes of an entire nation. His name was Erling Braut Haaland. When he was just 3 years old, his family moved back to Norway, where his real football journey began. He wasn't the most talented player on his team. He wasn't the one everyone expected to become a superstar, but he had something that couldn't be taught, a mindset that refused to give up. While the other children went home after training, Haaland stayed on the pitch, striking the ball hundreds of times and running until he was completely exhausted. He believed talent alone was never enough. Hard work was the only road to greatness, but he had no idea that the hardest challenges were still ahead of him. Haaland joined Brian FK. He was tall, strong, and athletic, but he wasn't the goal-scoring machine the world knows today. Some coaches didn't even believe he could become a world-class striker. He missed easy chances. He made mistakes. He was criticized again and again. But instead of giving up, he went home, watched his own mistakes, and returned to training the next day determined to improve. His father kept telling him, "If you want to become the best, you must work harder than everyone else." And that's exactly what he did. Slowly, his game improved. Then came the opportunity that changed everything. Haaland signed for Molde FK. There, he met Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The coach didn't just see a tall young player, he saw the potential of an extraordinary striker. He taught Haaland how to move inside the penalty area, how to time his runs perfectly, how to turn half a chance into a goal. After every training session, they stayed on the pitch for extra finishing drills. Little by little, people started realizing this young striker was different. But Europe still didn't know his name, and nobody was ready for what was coming next. In 2019, Haaland joined Red Bull Salzburg. Many believed he was simply another promising young player. Then came his UEFA Champions League debut. He scored a hat-trick in his very first match. Within hours, newspapers across Europe were asking the same question. Who is this Norwegian striker? How can someone so young score with such confidence? That unforgettable night changed his life forever. From that moment on, Europe's biggest clubs wanted him. Haaland chose Borussia Dortmund. His debut couldn't have been more dramatic. He came off the bench. Within minutes, he scored a hat-trick. Fans couldn't believe what they were witnessing. Every match, another goal. Sometimes 2, sometimes 3. He broke Champions League records at an incredible speed and became one of the fastest players ever to reach major scoring milestones. Defenders no longer asked if he would score. They wondered how many, but despite all his success, he still had one dream: to conquer the Premier League. In the summer of 2022, Manchester City completed his signing. Many football experts doubted him. Some said his style wouldn't fit English football. Others believed the Premier League was too difficult. Haaland answered in the only way he knew, with goals. In his very first Premier League season, he scored 36 league goals, a new all-time record. He helped Manchester City win the Premier League, the FA Cup, and the UEFA Champions League in the same season. He wasn't just scoring, he was rewriting football history, despite all his success at club level. One dream remained: to lead Norway on football's biggest stage. At the 2026 FIFA World Cup, all eyes were on Haaland. He was no longer just one of the world's best strikers. He had become the symbol of Norwegian football. Everyone wondered if he could write the greatest chapter of his career while wearing his country's colors. Erling Haaland's story is not the story of a boy born to be a superstar. It is the story of someone who refused to quit. He trained while others rested. He improved while others criticized him. So the next time you see him celebrating another goal, remember that behind that moment are thousands of unseen hours of hard work. Perhaps that's why the world doesn't fear Erling Haaland simply because he is tall, or because he is fast. The world fears him because he never stops improving, and that is the true story behind one of the greatest strikers of his generation.